What's going on, guys? Tyson Trainer here, back with another episode of Sports Talk with my Protein shirt on. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. There's no advertising here. I'm just wearing a shirt because it makes my traps look jacked. Now, today's video, I would like to talk to you about getting sick. Okay? Because as an athlete, you actually have a higher proneness to getting sick just because you are pushing yourself quite hard, and there's kind of this U curve that happens in regards to how they've looked at the potential of people being sick. And basically, with an average person, you've kind of got a normal potential of being sick. When you're actually moderately exercising, which means doing at least 4 to 5 sessions a week, and that's not just training, that's just overall exercise, including steps and stuff like that, you actually have the lowest capacity to be able to actually get sick, which is a good thing. But then if you're an athlete and you are training more sessions and doing more exercise, you actually now have a higher chance of getting sick, okay? Like the highest chance, like athletes are at the top of getting sick. And this is why a lot of things become important with taking care of your nutrition and looking after yourself as an athlete. Because I talked about in the last video, stresses are a huge thing, okay? And the more stress we have in our body in regards to overtraining and stuff like that, the higher the chance we actually have of getting sick. And I've actually noticed myself already with this increased training load that I am getting a little bit more potentially sick, and it's something I do not want to risk. So for me, I've actually pulled back my training load like I talked to you guys about. And with that though, it's also making sure I'm getting in a lot of essential things during the day. So one thing that I talked to you guys about is your vitamins and minerals, because we do train so much, we use a lot of vitamins and minerals, and we break them down more than the average person. We also sweat more, which means we lose magnesium, potassium, sodium, and things like that too. And so making sure we have an overall nutrient-dense diet, then this is very important. And in saying that, having a nutrient-dense diet, that should actually mean, for yourself as an athlete, if you don't know how to set up your diet properly, get yourself a coach, right? And it's not just me, obviously. Get someone who's local, if you have someone who's local, and get someone, ideally a sports dietitian or a dietitian, as they are at the top of the field. They are academically educated and they will know what they're talking about. Otherwise, you've got someone like myself who is a postgraduate diploma of sports nutrition. So I have learned about this and still learning about it as I go, which is, I was watching a lecture the other day and this actually reminded me to talk about this topic. And it's like, sickness is a high thing. And so, making sure we cover all our bases, hitting all our vitamins and minerals and getting all those daily habits in, your fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, your protein, red meat is important too for your iron, because iron can be depleted, especially in female athletes. So, getting an idea about making sure you have a well-rounded diet, you may or may not know if you do, and that's why getting a coach, someone who's very sports orientated and has that academic background with the sports side of things, will be beneficial. I myself am going to get a sports dietitian to actually oversee my nutrition, just because I want to make sure they're covering everything. I was going to do it myself, and I'm still going to be practicing and explaining to you guys what I will be doing, but I'm going to be working in conjunction with someone else just so I can make sure we are doing the best, And a lot of people, I was actually looking at different sports dietitians because I wanted to get someone who wasn't my friend, because there's no it's just a professional level more than anything. And also in regards to that, it's just someone who actually does something else apart from gym. Because you can see a lot of sports dietitians as bodybuilders, or there's people who are always talking about the gym, which is absolutely fine, but it's like, I want to find someone who also knows the ins and outs of other sports, okay? So I'm going to have a look around and find someone who relates with me, but having that is going to obviously take care of my nutrient considerations, and also having someone who's more qualified than me, it actually is a downstream effect. So learning from that person, understanding why they do things, or how they're going to do it, and their thought process behind it also allows me to be a better coach too. That's here nor there, but just trying to give you guys an understanding that I want to do the best for myself to prevent getting sick, and that's why I'm carrying it over to you guys, all right? So some of the things that can actually help with preventing sickness, like I said, firstly, is getting your fruits, your veggies, your vitamins, your minerals, all right? So getting nutrient-dense foods. And this is why predominantly a large majority of your food wants to come from high nutrient-dense stuff, okay? Getting in at least 400 grams of veggies a day, getting in at least 300 grams of fruit a day, getting in 5 grams of whole grains a day, 5 servings of whole grains a day, getting in red meat at least 2 to 3 times a week, getting in your fish oil if you're not eating fatty fish, getting in dairy intake. So even though these are general recommendations for people, for you as an athlete, getting these things in too are also important, because guess what? If you don't get these things into place, you are actually going to be, vitamin and mineral deficient, and you're not going to be able to perform at your best, and you have a high chance of getting sick, okay? So just those basic things that I talk about are quite important just for overall health, right? Now, on top of that, one thing that I may have covered before that I can't remember is L-Glutamine. okay? Now, L-Glutamine is not there for building muscle, but it is an amino acid. And the reason we should be getting L-Glutamine is because there's actually, it's very hit and miss with the research, all right? A lot of the research has been done on burn victims in regards to how it's helped them, but also they've actually done research on marathon runners. And it actually showed some potential there that glutamine was very good overall for preventing sickness. So as an anecdotal thing, it's a very cheap supplement. I got myself L-Glutamine and I take that every day, so that's one thing you can do. Secondly, getting enough vitamin C. Now, with enough vitamin C, it's going to come from your diet predominantly, so I wouldn't really stress too much about vitamin C. Vitamin E is also important because these are your antioxidants, right? Vitamin E you can actually get from Brazil nuts, an easy way to get vitamin E. I think you need like 2 a day. We don't want to have too many because it's actually be a detrimental thing if you have too much vitamin E, but getting 2 a day of Brazil nuts is actually going to be fine. And also in saying that, just making sure if you aren't getting enough vitamins and minerals, this is probably where I would recommend a green supplement. It doesn't fix the problem, but it bridges the gap for people who aren't getting nutritionally adequate food in for the day, all right? So if you aren't getting it in and you struggle with it, get a green supplement, but it's not a replacement, okay? This is just something to tie you over while you're trying to fix your food deficiencies, because we always want to take a food first approach, yeah? Not just because green supplements don't work, because at the end of the day, they are vitamins and minerals and they will be absorbed by the body, and any water-soluble vitamins and minerals that you have that may be of access will be excreted, so you'll piss it out basically. So any of the extra stuff that you don't need will be pissed out. But it's just teaching you about nutritional, literacy, understanding about nutrition, knowing why you have to eat, putting together a good day of eating. Because even if you're an athlete now, 15 years down the road, you might not be an athlete anymore. And so you want to know how to eat properly, and understanding why a food first approach is so important for now and the future, and knowing how to eat on a daily basis to fuel your needs and to also help with the recovery overall and just overall health is such an important thing, okay? Because again, if you know, I've got to make sure I get this amount of food every day so I get my vitamin C, so I get my vitamin E, so I get my, my vitamins and minerals, because in that way it's going to prevent me from getting sick and performing better. And you start to apply that when it comes to just general overall health, you're just going to know, I know how to put together a meal, and it's second nature, For me, every breakfast, I know I have yogurt, I know I have Wheat Bix, I know I have fruit, and I know I have nuts. So I tick off a bunch of boxes there just from that. My protein, my dairy, my whole grains, my healthy fats, and then a lot of vitamins and minerals coming in from that too. My calcium, my selenium, my vitamin E. What else am I getting from there? Calcium, vitamin E. I can't think off the top of my head. A lot of things in there, obviously. And so making sure I get in that on a daily basis, it's ticking those boxes. Same thing as lunch. I know, I get my whole grain wrap, I get chicken, I got a fresh salad there, and then I have a piece of fruit on the side, and then I make sure I have barbecue sauce for a little bit of extra taste on there, and then I also make sure that I will get some sort of healthy fat later on. So always making sure that I'm getting all these things ticked across to tick off all those boxes. It's such an important thing, right? So again, vitamin C, vitamin E, do not supplement these, okay? Do not supplement vitamin C, for Christ's sake. You can get vitamin C very, very easy from your diet, all right? Same as vitamin E. Do not supplement vitamin E because it can become an issue for you if you have too much and becomes toxic, right? Vitamin, what else was I going to say? Calcium is a very important thing, especially for osteoclasts and osteoblasts, and preventing bone breakdown, like constant bone breakdown, and then also preventing injuries, and also just strengthening your bones in general, because the calcium you get from food or from a supplement doesn't need to be converted or anything. It just gets straight into the body, all right? Vitamin D also prevents getting sick. So they've shown that, getting optimal vitamin D levels, where if you can't get out in the sun, making sure you are getting a vitamin D supplement in is also going to make sure you're keeping strong bones and reduce your overall chances of getting sick. And finally, just having lower stress. Again, I've talked to you guys about this before. So managing your life stress, relationships, work, sleep, what you do with your free time, what you do at work, what you do at training, you're going to have so many stresses, and the more you can manage those stresses, the better, okay? If you look at the top paid athletes, they had their meals cooked for them. They have everything looked after for the most part, so they don't have to stress about those things. We don't have that luxury, not yet. You could be a professional athlete and you can get taken care of that. I can get better at my business and make more money, and then have that stuff taken care of me. So it's very, based by case basis, I guess, for the most part. But in saying that, the more you can reduce and manage stress, the better. All right. So finding ways to also manage stress too is going to be quite important. So you got to find out what works for you. For me, I'm a type A personality. Exercising actually helps me reduce stress, but it also is also a stressor. So it's kind of that half-half thing. Swimming for me not only fatigues me physically, it actually really brings me down and chills me out after. And I get much better sleeps after I swim, just because the whole body workout wrecks me. But like, there's something about when I go swimming in the ocean, like I just feel like afterwards, you know, even when I just go for a swim with my partner and we sit at the beach, like I am so chill afterwards. And that's something that I've got to, you know, get back in. So even though I'm swimming for physical, I need to also just swim to chill. And so these things that I'm, you know, slowly coming back into are going to be things that will be beneficial for me in the long run and beneficial for yourself too. So that's just some stuff to take into consideration for yourself when it comes to making sure you are adequately hitting all of your nutrition, and why it's such an important thing, especially for an athlete and when health is involved. All right, or like preventing sickness is involved, because if you get sick, you can't train. If you get sick, you can't perform properly. If you get sick, you impede your performance overall and you set yourself back. So the more of a chance you can have of preventing getting sick, the better. Hopefully that makes sense. So make sure you do take care of your diet. Again, if you guys have any questions, message me on Instagram at TysonTheTrainer with 2 R's. If you want coaching, also message me on Instagram at TysonTheTrainer with 2 R's. I'm happy to talk to you guys about the side of things that I offer for sports nutrition. And yeah, we can go from there. Till next time, speak to you guys then.